The other day, I was walking down the street, phone in hand, scrolling through endless updates. Around me, people rushed by, faces glued to screens, a symphony of car horns filling the air. It struck me then. We live in a world consumed by noise. The constant barrage of information, the endless to-do lists, the pressure to be on all the time. It's exhausting. I realized I was yearning for something more, a sense of peace and purpose that seemed elusive in our fast-paced world. That's when the idea came to me, a 30-day experiment to live like a monk. Living like a monk, even for a month, felt like a radical departure from my normal routine. It was a step into the unknown, a journey that promised both challenges and rewards. The idea of adopting such a lifestyle was both intriguing and intimidating. I was used to the hustle and bustle of city life, where every moment is filled with noise and activity. The thought of slowing down, of embracing a simpler way of living, was both a relief and a challenge. It meant early mornings, meditation, simplified living, and a conscious effort to disconnect from the digital world. Each day began with the rising sun, a symbol of new beginnings and fresh starts. The mornings were quiet, the air crisp and fresh, and the world seemed to be at peace. It was a stark contrast to the usual rush of my mornings, filled with alarms, notifications, and the constant need to be somewhere or do something. It meant embracing silence and solitude, concepts that seemed almost foreign in our hyper-connected society. The quiet moments became a mirror, reflecting my innermost thoughts and feelings. In the silence, I found a space to breathe, to think, and to simply be. It was in these moments that I began to understand the true value of stillness. The absence of noise allowed me to hear my own thoughts more clearly, to understand my own emotions more deeply. I was both excited and terrified. The idea of being alone with my thoughts was daunting, yet it held the promise of profound self-discovery. I wondered what I would find in the quiet corners of my mind. Would I uncover hidden fears, unresolved issues, or perhaps a sense of peace that I had never known before? The journey inward was as challenging as any physical journey I had ever undertaken. Could I, a product of this modern world, find stillness amidst the noise? Could I learn to quiet the constant chatter of my mind? These questions lingered in my mind as I sat in meditation, listening to the sounds of nature around me, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the gentle flow of water. These natural sounds became my companions, guiding me towards a state of inner calm. Could I truly disconnect and reconnect with myself on a deeper level? The challenge was not just to unplug from technology, but to plug into my own inner world. It was about finding a balance between the external and internal, between the demands of the outside world and the needs of my inner self. Journaling became a tool for reflection, a way to capture my thoughts and feelings, to understand my journey better. My hope was that by stripping away the distractions, I could tap into a source of inner peace and clarity. I wanted to find a sense of balance and harmony within. The practice of meditation and yoga became my daily rituals, grounding me in the present moment, helping me to connect with my breath, my body, and my mind. Each session was a step towards a deeper understanding of myself. I wanted to understand myself better, to learn how to navigate the chaos of daily life with more intention and presence. This journey was about finding a deeper connection to my true self. It was about learning to live with more mindfulness, to appreciate the simple moments, and to find joy in the present. As I walked through the garden reflecting on my journey, I realized that the path to stillness was not about escaping the noise, but about finding peace within it. The beauty of this experiment was that it didn't require traveling to a remote monastery or renouncing all worldly possessions. It was about cultivating a monk-like mindset, finding moments of stillness and reflection amidst the busyness of life. It was about embracing simplicity in my surroundings, my schedule, and my thoughts. It was about being present in each moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Most importantly, it was about connecting with my inner self, that quiet space within where wisdom and peace reside. It was about discovering the monk within, the part of me that yearned for stillness and meaning. The first few days were the hardest. Adjusting to a new routine was a challenge I hadn't anticipated. My body resisted the change, clinging to the comfort of my old habits. Each morning felt like a battle between my willpower and my desire to stay in bed. My alarm went off at 5 a.m., a stark contrast to my usual habit of hitting the snooze button. The early wake-up call was a shock to my system. I had always been a night owl, finding solace in the quiet hours of the night. But now, the early morning hours were my new reality. The early morning silence was unsettling at first, but as I began my meditation practice, I felt a sense of calm washing over me. It was a new kind of peace I had never experienced before. The stillness of the dawn became a sanctuary, a place where I could connect with my inner self without the distractions of the day. The minimalist aspect was also challenging. Letting go of material possessions felt like shedding a part of myself. Each item I owned had a story, a memory attached to it. But I realized that holding on to these things was holding me back. I needed to create space for new experiences and growth. I pared down my wardrobe, keeping only what was essential. Each item had to serve a purpose. It was a liberating experience, knowing that I was no longer weighed down by excess. My mornings became simpler, my choices clearer. I limited my social media use, realizing how much time I had wasted scrolling mindlessly. The constant barrage of information and the pressure to stay connected had taken a toll on my mental health. By stepping back, I found more time for meaningful activities and real-life connections, and resisted the urge to buy unnecessary things. It was a test of my willpower and priorities. I began to question my needs versus my wants, understanding the difference between temporary satisfaction and long-term fulfillment. It was amazing how much mental space I created by simply decluttering my physical surroundings. My mind felt lighter, more focused. The clarity in my environment translated to clarity in my thoughts, allowing me to approach each day with a renewed sense of purpose. Each day felt like a lesson in discipline and self-awareness. I documented my progress in a journal, noting small victories and setbacks. This practice of reflection helped me stay accountable and motivated, providing a tangible record of my journey. I became more attuned to my thoughts and emotions, comprehending my inner world better. Nature became my refuge, a place where I could think deeply and find answers within myself. The beauty of the natural world mirrored the beauty I was discovering within, noticing how easily my mind would race with worries and anxieties. This journey was not just about physical changes, but a deep mental transformation as well. I learned to confront my fears and insecurities, understanding that they were part of my growth. Each challenge became an opportunity to become stronger, more resilient. Embracing the quiet, a new rhythm of life. As the days turned into weeks, something incredible happened. I started to crave the quiet moments. The early morning meditations became my sanctuary, a time to connect with myself before the day's demands took over. I found joy in the simple things: a cup of tea, a walk in nature, a meaningful conversation. I was less reactive to stress, more present in my interactions, and more content with who I was. The constant noise in my head began to quiet down, replaced by a sense of inner peace I had never experienced before. I realized that true peace didn't come from external circumstances, but from within. The unexpected gift of less. One of the most surprising lessons from this experiment was the realization that less truly is more. By simplifying my life, I had created space for things that truly mattered: meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a deeper connection with myself. I had always believed that happiness came from achieving more, acquiring more, doing more. But I discovered that true fulfillment came from appreciating what I already had and finding joy in the present moment. The minimalist lifestyle wasn't about deprivation. It was about intentionality. It was about making conscious choices about what I allowed into my life and focusing on what truly brought me joy. A moment of clarity. I remember one evening, about halfway through the experiment, I was sitting on my balcony, watching the sunset. A sense of profound peace washed over me, and in that moment, I had a powerful realization. I realized that I had been searching for happiness in all the wrong places, in external achievements, material possessions, and the approval of others. But true happiness, I realized, came from within. It was a simple yet profound insight that shifted my perspective entirely. I realized that I had the power to choose joy in every moment, regardless of my external circumstances. Carrying the monk within. As my 30-day experiment drew to a close, I knew that I couldn't simply go back to my old ways. The lessons I had learned ran too deep, the transformations too profound. I continued to practice mindfulness in my daily life, taking time for meditation, gratitude, and reflection. I maintained a minimalist mindset, being mindful of my consumption and making conscious choices that aligned with my values. Most importantly, I carried the monk within me, that quiet space of peace and wisdom that I could access whenever life felt chaotic. It was a reminder that true peace wasn't a destination, but a journey, a conscious choice I made each day. Your journey to inner peace. My 30-day journey of living like a monk was an incredible experience that transformed my life in countless ways. It was a period of deep reflection where I disconnected from the chaos of daily life and reconnected with my true self. During this time, I embraced a lifestyle of simplicity and mindfulness, which allowed me to see the world through a different lens. The constant noise and distractions of modern life faded away, and I found myself immersed in a state of tranquility and clarity. It taught me the power of mindfulness, the beauty of simplicity, the joy of living in the present moment, and the profound impact these practices can have on our overall well-being. I began to understand that true happiness doesn't come from external possessions or achievements, but from within. The practice of mindfulness helped me to become more aware of my thoughts and emotions, allowing me to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and composure, and the importance of connecting with my inner self. I learned to appreciate the small things and found peace in solitude. The simple act of sitting quietly and observing my breath became a source of immense joy and contentment. I realized that solitude is not something to be feared, but rather embraced as an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. If this story resonates with you, I encourage you to embark on your own journey of self-discovery. It can be a transformative experience that brings clarity and purpose to your life. You don't need to make drastic changes all at once. Start with small, manageable steps that fit into your daily routine. Over time, these small changes can lead to significant improvements in your mental and emotional well-being. It doesn't have to be a 30-day challenge or a complete life overhaul. Even small, consistent changes can make a significant impact. For example, you might begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for meditation or mindfulness practice. As you become more comfortable with these practices, you can gradually increase the time you spend on them. Start small, incorporate a few minutes of meditation into your day, and gradually increase the time as you become more comfortable. Find a quiet corner in your home where you can sit undisturbed and make this your dedicated space for meditation. Over time, this space will become a sanctuary where you can retreat from the stresses of daily life and reconnect with your inner self. Declutter a small area of your home, creating a space that brings you peace and tranquility. The act of decluttering can be incredibly therapeutic, as it allows you to let go of physical and mental clutter that may be weighing you down. By creating a clean and organized environment, you can cultivate a sense of calm and order in your life. Or spend some time in nature without distractions, allowing yourself to fully immerse in the beauty around you. Nature has a way of grounding us and reminding us of the simple pleasures in life. Whether it's a walk in the forest, sitting by a river, or simply enjoying a quiet moment in a park, spending time in nature can help you reconnect with yourself and find inner peace. The most important thing is to simply begin. Take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Every journey starts with a single step, and each step you take brings you closer to your goal. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or challenges along the way. Embrace them as opportunities for growth and learning. Take that first step towards inner peace and see where it leads you. You might be surprised at the positive changes it brings. As you continue on this journey, you'll likely find that your perspective on life begins to shift. You'll become more attuned to the present moment, more appreciative of the simple joys, and more resilient in the face of challenges. And see where it leads you. The journey to inner peace is a personal one, and it starts with a single step. Each person's path will be unique, and there is no right or wrong way to go about it. Trust yourself and your intuition and allow your journey to unfold naturally. I promise you won't regret it. Embrace the journey and discover the peace within. As you continue to explore and grow, you'll find that inner peace is not a destination, but a way of being. It's a state of mind that you can cultivate and carry with you throughout your life. So take that first step today and begin your journey to inner peace.